Hello and welcome to another session in our series of Every Superhero Needs a Sidekick, where we as business managers and owners each have our own superhero power, but need the help of software and apps in our app stack, i.e. our sidekicks, to be more efficient in what we do. Today we have Chris from the team at Hubdoc. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hubdoc is a really vital app in our app stack and is positioned right at the start. About 3 years ago, Hubdoc were bought by Xero, and now Xero are integrating that into their platform, but it still has a place of its own. So I'm really excited to see what Chris is bringing to us today to help us get really efficient in our app stacks and our workflows. So Chris, let's kick things off. Let's hear a bit about you. How long have you been at Hubdoc, and what's your background?
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Steve. Happy to be a part of this. I've been at Hubdoc for 3 years now. Originally, my journey started at the Toronto office, and then that included a move to London back in 2018. So I've been a part of the Hubdoc team for 3 years, and then following the acquisition, I've joined up with Xero in a role there. So really at its core, Hubdoc is a tool that helps small business owners and their accounting partners save time on document collection and data entry. So helping you streamline and automate away a lot of the menial tasks that you might have to do throughout the year, just to make your lives a lot more efficient.
Great stuff. So just to kind of pack into Hubdoc a little bit further, what exactly is it?
Absolutely. So we like to refer to Hubdoc as a data automation tool, but to put it simply, we'd like to automate the collection of documents and key data and automatically import that into your cloud bookkeeping system. So things like your invoices, your receipts, and your bills, Hubdoc can capture them automatically in a digital format and then extract key data like supplier name, invoice number, date, tax, and apply supplier rules, and how that all synchronizes to Xero to minimize you having to actually enter that in every single time.
Amazing. So it sounds like it saves me having to type work in and make keystroke errors and that kind of thing, because it's going to look after that for me.
Exactly. So for small business owners, most of you didn't get into business to type up invoices into a piece of software, but Hubdoc,
we did.
Let Steve and the team do that in his band of superheroes. But really, it's just a tool meant to save you heaps of time on invoices and receipts, and just let you return that time to other business pursuits or just to spend time as you see fit. Incredible.
Can you unpack that a little bit further and just tell us about how does it do that? Can you walk us through the process? What is your typical process, I guess, from A to Z for in terms of using Hubdoc? And then maybe if you've got a demo you can show us, that would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll give you just a high level explanation, then I'm happy to jump into a product demonstration. So typically most of our small business owners collaborate with their accountants to complete a lot of the bookkeeping, but sometimes we see small business owners take care of that task themselves. Usually at the end of every quarter or end of every financial year, a business owner would gather up all of their transactions throughout that period and either email them to their accountant. We also see people deliver documents through the post or simply take pictures of receipts. And what Hubdoc can do to actually streamline that process is just give you digital tools to capture and extract that data. So to put it quite plainly, instead of having to email documents to the accounting firm that you're working with or into a centralized system internally, you can email directly to Hubdoc with the source documents, and then Hubdoc will be able to extract that, read the key information, and synchronize it to Xero. You'll also have a mobile app. So whether it's iOS or Android, you'll be able to capture images on your mobile phone, and then those images will automatically appear in Hubdoc for you to review. The last one is just being able to upload documents right from your computer. So if you're picking up documents and maybe saving them to your desktop, you can simply drag and drop those into Hubdoc, and it will begin that extraction process for you.
It's amazing. I do love platforms where there's an app on the smartphone. If there's a smartphone app, I'm going to get a copy of it. And I especially like the way you wrapped up clients that put all their receipts into a bag and hand them to their accountant once a year. That's where Finance Box came from. The name came from that idea that all the invoices go into a box and then passed on. So yeah, let's see a demo. Let's see this in action.
Absolutely. Great. I've just shared my screen. Is that visible to you now?
Yep, everything's on there.
Perfect. So what we're looking at now is the main partner dashboard. So at Xero and at Hubdoc, we work in collaboration with our accounting partners to help provide our small business owners with the best possible experience. So this screen is what you would see as a partner, but what you see below is a list of every single organization or client. So everybody gets their own organization that holds their own documents, discrete and separate from everybody else. So let's go into Joe's Java here. Imagine we're a cafe and we want to start using Hubdoc. Now, this is the screen that you'll land on when you first jump into Hubdoc. It's the same screen that all of your users would see, regardless of your status level. But let's just take a look at how we can get started and some of the key tools that you can use to get some time savings right away. So the first thing that you can do when you join up with Hubdoc is just connect to your cloud bookkeeping solution. As a Xero product, of course, you'll see Xero listed here, but there are other options available if you're using other platforms. Once you've established a connection to Xero, that's really the only thing you'll need to do from a setup perspective. The link will be completed, and now you can start uploading documents and synchronizing them to your bookkeeping system. So let's just take a look at some of the key buttons here and how we can make use of Hubdoc. So at the top is upload document. And when I click that there, I'm going to see 3 different ways to import documents into the system. So you heard me speak a bit about being able to email documents in. You also see I could drag and drop, and you can also see I can use a mobile app. So we'll go through those right now and show you how easy it is to get your documents into one place. So first, we'll just start with a drag and drop. So being able to simply browse and select from a number of documents on your screen. In this case, I have a folder of documents that I like to use. So what I'm going to just do is hit Control A and drop in all my documents here. What you'll see in the background is all of these images start to populate into the Hubdoc platform, and we'll actually see that data being extracted in real time. So you can see things like the supplier name, the date, the amount have all been populated for me, saving me those precious minutes on those various keystrokes. So I can click into one of my images here, and I can actually see a digital copy of this receipt or invoice, whatever the case may be. So what I'm going to do is just come to my review tab, and I can sort by my status. So I can think of this as like my to-do list. This can be done on your own. As a business owner, you can definitely take the reins and drive this yourself, or you can do it in collaboration with your accounting or bookkeeping partner. Hubdoc's a collaborative platform, so you guys can decide on what the best way of working is with your partners. Now, let me just show you a couple other things. You can obviously take a picture of something using the mobile app or submit via email. So what I'm going to do is just use the mobile app here and give us an example of uploading receipts. So I always like to say, if you've ever taken a family photo in your life, you are officially qualified to use the Hubdoc mobile app. It is that simple to use. So what I'm going to do is just jump over to the app on my phone here. It's going to already have me logged in to my account. And what it will do is actually present a green camera for me to start taking pictures. So I've got a couple of receipts on my desk here, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to get them in there. So all I'm going to do is just point and click and say use photo. And what we're going to see is that image on my desk appear right away. Let's add another one just for good measure.
That was incredibly quick to see that come through.
It's truly fast. And one of the benefits of working with Hubdoc and with Xero, and also just with cloud savvy accounting firms, is you're leveraging world-class artificial intelligence to be able to take this data from sort of just raw raw image into actually actionable insights. So there's really no need to be relying on manual data entry anymore. These tools have now been just embedded into our workflows to make your lives a lot easier. So I've got some pictures here, and what I can do now is go ahead and push this over to my cloud bookkeeping solution. So let's just take a look at this receipt here. So what I've got on the right-hand side is the information like my supplier name. I have an invoice number if I was working with an invoice, the date, the amount, and the appropriate tax rate. Now, once that data has been secured and verified, I can come down to my integration with Xero and set up specific rules for each supplier. So the purpose of this screen here is to help you streamline rules on a supplier basis. What we see in our business and across many businesses that we service is quite a number of repeat transactions and repeat suppliers. And when there's these patterns that occur, there's an opportunity to encode rules to make that process as streamlined as possible. So let's just take a look here at our number of fields. So for this example, we can just simply push this across as a purchase. We can also code it up as a spend money, an expense claim, a sales invoice, and a credit note. So there's a number of different ways that you can publish a document to Xero. You also have the option to change the status. We see a lot of people use draft, but awaiting approval and awaiting payment are also very common workflows. Your contact or your list of suppliers will be imported from Xero, so you don't have to type them all out again. And if there's ever a new entry, Hubdoc will let you create that and it will synchronize back to Xero. Finally, you've got your account code or nominal codes. These are imported from Xero as well in a drop-down menu for you to select from. So once we've configured the mandatory fields, we can just go ahead and click the Publish button here. So now we can see that it's thinking. We see the green flash across the top of our screen. And we now have a confirmed published receipt. So we've got the date and the actual user who's pushed that across. So let's go and have a look in Xero and see what that looks like. So now I'm in Xero here, and I'm just going to go over to my business tab and down to my bills to pay section. And sitting in my drafts there, it's going to be my transaction. So what I have here is a copy of the receipt and all of the key data that's been extracted from that document ready for me to approve. As a small business owner, what you'll need to be aware of is keeping records of all of your documents throughout your time in business. The rules have changed to the point where you can now keep documents in a digital format, and those are acceptable to HMRC. If there's ever an audit situation, you can produce these documents to satisfy those requirements. You now have a copy of that receipt in Xero, as well as another copy in Hubdoc. Because it's cloud-based, you can access these files from anywhere in the world. As long as you've got a secure login and password, then you'll be able to access these files. You can print them, download them, whatever you'd like to do with them, but now you've got a copy accessible wherever you have an internet connection. So we'll come back to Xero here, and we can, of course, just verify all of that. If we need to, we can make changes. We can also change it to a spend money if we want to align it to a bank account that we're using. And sales invoices are also quite helpful if you see a high volume of those. So that's a very typical workflow that we'd see our partners and our small business clients using. My recommendation here, collaborate with your accountant to figure out what the best workflow is for you. Perhaps your accountant will have some guidance on best practice here. Now, just turn.
I was going to say, Chris, if you just open up the Xero drop down again for me.
Yes.
I had a question. You've got this auto sync. What's the difference between that one and the save configuration? What do they do?
Yeah, great question. So the save configuration will remember the rules that you've laid out here for the next time that you see this supplier. So for example, if you're perhaps a builder, or maybe you're an e-commerce platform, you can save these rules for common suppliers. For example, Adobe or BT or EE, things like Zoom. You can save those rules. Save configuration gives you the opportunity to review those fields before you make any publishing actions towards zero. Now, if you're very confident in how an item is configured, you can take that automation a step further and actually auto-sync those documents over to zero. And what that auto-sync capability will do is actually remove all of the human intervention. So as soon as a document arrives in Hubdoc, the rules will be attached, and then the document will be automatically published over to zero. So you're going to have a copy of it right away. So this is a very powerful tool to use on predictable invoices and receipts, things that you see very frequently, whether it's over a quarter, back quarter, or a financial year. But our recommendation is, as you get started with Hubdoc, simply apply save configuration as frequently as possible, and then jump to auto sync when you're really confident with those rules.
It's great advice.
Excellent. So we showed just a little bit about how you can manually upload documents into Hubdoc. Now you can even take things a step further and actually automate the capture of these images right from the source. So beside upload document is the add account button. And what you'll see here is a number of different suppliers based in the UK and globally. And what you'll have the option to do is retrieve images, invoices, receipts right from the source without having to download them yourself every month or to have a member of the team do so. So let's take a look at how we can actually accomplish that. So here are some of the popular suppliers here in the UK. We'll use BT as our example. I simply have to click into the logo here. I'd enter in my login details. So whatever my login details might be for BT, just drop those in there. Add your password. So just as you'd be logging into BT, the portal on your web browser, and you can just go and click add account here. And what this will do is actually automatically retrieve all of the documents that are sitting on your BT portal and download them into Hubdoc for you to use. So as I come over to the left-hand side of my screen, I can see a folder that says BT, and I can see all of the historical documents arriving right away. This is a particularly powerful tool because once I've set up this integration with BT or my suppliers, I don't ever have to adjust it or update it. It will simply just automatically fetch documents on a nightly basis. So whenever a new document is produced and attached to the portal, Hubdoc will be able to sign in, download it for you, and save it down into your folder here. The next logical step, of course, is to go over to the data extraction field, ensure that that data is correct and verified, and then onto zero, where you can then set up your rules and instructions to push onto the next step. The auto fetch capability, as we like to call it, is very powerful to streamline that document collection piece of your workflow. I know a lot of you out there might be sick and tired of hearing your accountants calling you for documents every month or every quarter. So you can just eliminate that headache entirely by setting up those automatic connections on your Hubdoc account, and then your team will have access to those documents right away. So this is just an example of making the collaboration between both parties a lot more enjoyable, just by streamlining those sort of menial tasks that you might encounter. To give you a sense of the breadth of the connections in Hubdoc, you can take a look at the catalog here. So you can see all the companies listed across the screen. We have over 1,000 globally. Hubdoc operates in Canada, the US, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and of course the UK. So you'll see a lot of connections for a specific region, but you'll also see a number of global connections. So companies that you might see really in any region. So things like your Microsoft business account here, things like Adobe, Skype, just to give you a sense of some of these ones that you can pull down. So I'd encourage everybody to take a look at that list, see where there's opportunities to add those automatic connections and enjoy the time savings that come with them.
Incredible. Thank you for that, Chris. I just want to quickly share a little bit about how finance folks have been using Hubdoc in our routines internally, but also with our clients. So if I start off with how I use it personally, As a business owner, one of the things I have the least amount of time to do is to do my own admin and my own accounts. And so a tool like Hubdoc is really beneficial to me. Most of the time I get an email with a bill on the bottom as an attachment. I open up the email, I forward it to the special email address, and it appears in Hubdoc by itself. The one extra thing that I then need to do is, if it's a new supplier, I just need to visit Hubdoc every now and then to make sure that it's being kept up to date. But if it's a regular supplier, and most of my purchases are, I've turned on the auto sync, and so that my action of forwarding the bill into Hubdoc in the first place means that it's already in zero by the time the direct debit has gone out and it's looked after. So I don't actually do any of my own accounting anymore. The robots do it for me. Then just to give you the example of how we use this with our clients, we share access to Hubdoc, and in some cases our clients are invited to forward their documents directly into Hubdoc, where we can then help them code the invoices and set up that automation for them. So if you're not sure what the VAT rules are, if you're not sure what the account codings are, your accountant can then collaborate with you in this one platform without you worrying about what is there in Xero and how you're going to code it or where it should be coded. So you can be helped along in that way. One of those, that feature that Chris has just highlighted, the fetch automation as well, is incredibly valuable to me, because I hate being the one that chases you as a business owner for that phone bill every single month. If we can collaborate with you in an app like Hubdoc, you share your logins into the system, we can't see them, but then from now onwards, the bills will download themselves and you'll never have me chase you again. So really, really valuable. Thanks for sharing that, Chris.
Absolutely. The last thing I'll mention from a document management perspective is our folder tree on the left-hand side. This is a really great way to manage the heaps of documents that you'll accrue over the many months and years that you'll be in business. So there's a lot of tools here to make this a really easy process for you to search, sort, and organize your data. So the two big categories that you'll see on the left-hand side underneath all documents is bills and statements, uploads, and then underneath each one, you'll see a supplier folder. The bills and statements is composed of all the automatic fetching accounts that you've set up. So you can see BT has been set up there. And then uploads will hold everything that I've actually entered myself. So whenever a transaction or receipt or invoice pops into Hubdoc, I don't need to worry about creating a folder and dropping it into that specific folder. Hubdoc takes that step automatically for me. You always have a ton of options in terms of reshuffling or how you decide you want to organize yourself. So you can create new folders, rename them, delete them. You'll also find that you can download everything. So if there's ever a situation where you need to secure your data in a desktop format, you'll be able to download all of your files right from Hubdoc. It will retain the folder index that you see here, and they will arrive in a PDF, JPEG, or PNG format, depending on the original source of the document. You'll also see here is you can push to Dropbox or Google Drive. It's always a great idea to have a redundancy in place in case anything goes down. So you can actually create a full backup of everything that you have in Hubdoc over in a place like Dropbox if you choose to do so. So just kind of gives you some more options when it comes to your document management. Lastly, you can add tags. So for a lot of our clients that are on the go, especially builders or anybody that might be traveling around quite frequently, you can add tags to categorize documents. So that could be around the mobile app. You can use things, for example, to code things to a specific project, to a specific site, or various expenses. The options are limitless when it comes to setting up these rules. And it's as simple as just adding a tag at the top by clicking on the green button and then selecting, in this case, telephone and internet. So the document will sit in the tags tree as well as the folder tree up top for your viewing. There's always a few other bells and whistles here, being able to zoom in, rotate. You can mark as paid. This will simply just add a banner to the document It won't actually initiate any payment or change any of the coding within your bookkeeping solution. We'll simply add this banner there. You can add notes if you'd like. Also, you can view, download, and delete. And especially for those that might have a lot of users within their organization and want to keep track of who's been pushing through what, you'll see at the bottom an audit trail with a document ID, so you can stay on top of who's sending in those various documents. So that's the high-level overview of Hubdoc. If you have any more questions or any questions that pop up, I encourage you to check out the Hubdoc site or get in touch with your Xero account manager. We'd be more than happy to assist you getting you set up and learning the ropes.
Thank you, Chris. I just want to repeat one thing that you've added on there, talking about pushing to Dropbox or Google Drive. One of the questions we often get from clients is about data redundancy or disaster recovery situation. And some clients just aren't willing to do away with paper. Hubdoc genuinely allows you to be a paperless office because you scan your invoice in or you get your email and then you shred it. You just don't need the paperwork anymore. But a lot of people understandably aren't comfortable with it just being in one place. We've actually got it set up to automatically push to Xero and to push to Dropbox, and it files it in our Dropbox folders in exactly the same way as Chris has just shown you on this demo, where the files are named with the supplier name, the amounts, the dates, and they're stored by a folder. So even if you had a VAT inspection and the VAT officer wanted to see all of the bills for a certain supplier, you'd very easily be able to find them in your Dropbox and they'd be there as a backup. So even if you're the kind of person that likes to work offline, that Dropbox, the way that works can be available to you as well. Chris, thank you so much for your time. It's been really valuable to run through this, and I'm sure there'll be people with some questions or wanting to know some more. If I can just invite them to get in contact with us, either directly by email, through messaging us on the video link, or just coming to our website, financebox.co.uk. I'll gladly help you or put you in touch with Chris. Please don't forget to like or share our videos. It means a lot to us, and the more people that see it, the more people we can help. So I really appreciate any comments and feedback that you have below. And Chris, it just leaves me to say thank you again, and have a great day to everyone.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for watching.